Hello, profit takers, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm excited to announce that we are in the pre-sale mode for the Profit Takers Alert dashboard. And in this video, I'm going to give you all a fast start training on how to use it. So if you go ahead and take advantage of the sale right now, you can actually I will send you the document as soon as possible. At least within 24 hours, because we're all in different time zones. So, you might get it while I'm asleep. So I'll try to get it to you as fast as possible. Now we're going to increase the price within, as we get closer and closer to the official launch, to the actual price of the indicator. So you want to go ahead and get it now and start using it and start enjoying the benefits. So now let's get to it so you know what to do when you get the indicator. Okay. All right, here we go. And I've also prepared a fast start training document for you all as well, which will be available in locals for you to download and keep to yourself. So the dashboard, I think, is a very powerful tool. It will definitely help you to hunt down those pairs that are ready for you to trade your setup. Now, like I always say with every indicator, the indicators are not the holy grail. Okay, you still need to practice discretion and you need to be patient, especially when there's red folder news around, right? You want to trade before the news or after the news once the trend has set in. You want to wait for the pattern to complete, to break, to retest and break the structure. I mean, those are just the finite tools that you need to do. Not really tools, but those are the finite little things that you need to do before you get into the entry. Okay. But for the overall setup of the trade, this is going to help you to get into those setups without having to search and see, oh, how many days, where am I at? Two, it's just so easy to go click, oh, I like this 1 day, one HOW or 2 or 3, you find the setup that you like and resonate with you. And you create your own little flashcards for that setup that plays out all the time, every single week. And you execute trades with that setup. That's what I highly recommend. You find the one setup that this indicator helps you to find quickly and trade that one setup every single time. And then add another setup. Okay. That's it. Okay. That's really it. Don't complicate it at all. So first things first, when you install it, I'm sure everybody here knows how to install indicators. The one thing that you might want to note is sometimes the broker that you're using, they may have different like dot whatever after the instrument name, and you want to make sure that you include that in there so that you won't have any problems. So let me show you. To add a pair, I'm going to go to the indicator. I'm going to see that I want to add SPX. Didn't already populate. They're not going to always populate. You can add and remove the pairs as you wish. Keep it clean. Don't try to track every darn thing, but discretion, right? So SPX USD, I'm going to add that. And then I put a comma. I'm going to put U30 for DJ USD. Okay, let's see. Yep, that looks good. And here you can also have it to show daily range. You might want to keep that on. The timer, and that's the countdown for the calendar. For the candle. Show alert. That's if you want the push notification to show up, and I believe it's going to show up once I close this. And you can also set it for the push notifications if that's what you want. If you want to show the ADR lines, I love to see the ADR lines on my chart. Everything else, don't mess with it. Okay. Oh, the GMT, this is based off of your broker time. So if you need to change that and adjust it within the minutes, then go ahead and adjust the minutes. Okay. And here's where you can see your GMT for your broker. All right. So I hit that. I hope I saved it. Let's see. Yep, there it is. You guys can see I added SPX and US30. So let's click on those real quick, see if I get a pop-up. No pop-ups. Usually you'll get the pop-up when you see that price has exceeded. It'll give you it has exceeded 380R, and then that can let you know something is setting up to go short or go long, whichever it is, okay? All right, so now up here, we're gonna look at the weekly bias. The WB, bear with me, guys. All right, hopefully my dog won't interrupt us anymore. Maybe I spoke too soon. Okay, so here we go, guys. We were talking about WB and DB, okay? So the WB is your weekly bias, okay? So if the price goes above or below the previous week's high or low, the arrow will show red or blue, okay? It's basically what it means. The previous week was long. The daily bias is what is showing is short, okay? That's what that means. Now for SPX, you can see it showed that the previous week was long, which is true. And then the daily range at that time, yesterday, because now the markets are closed, as nothing's going to adjust until the new market opens again. It was blank. So at that time, it was still long, showing that the bias was going long, okay? Now, when you see both arrows, then it just means that it's not in sync with the actual weekly bias. All right, so you'll have like red here with the blue, and you see here red with the blue. Okay. Now again, this is Saturday. The markets are closed, so this is basically frozen, right? So once the markets open again, the dash will update. All right. So I just needed to get this thing out to you all, and then we'll be recording another video as you know each week in real time. Okay. So that's basically what it means. Right? Previous week high, the previous week's bias was either up or down. The daily base bias is either up and down. And of course, if it is blank, if the daily bias is blank, it means it's in sync with the weekly bias. Of course, you're going to have counter trends and whatnot available, but just know that's what that means. Okay. And that's technically means you can, when the weekly and the daily are different, it just means that you can trade like an intraday type cycle where you're going to have an opportunity to go long or short. Okay. Sometimes you don't have that opportunity. Sometimes it's just straight up do not counter. It's just falling or it's rising. Okay. Now the high low, this is where it's going to show you how many days are we away from the new peak high or low. That's all it is. My favorite one is the 1 day, okay, which is what we're showing right now. Away. Those are usually my favorite one. Those are the fresh cycles. And of course the 3-day reversals. But I have videos on all that in the locals group. You guys are already aware about that. All right, so the end of day, where you see the EOD here, price. This is basically saying that price closed. So basically what happens is it splits the price of the day into 4 quarters. Okay, the daily range is split into 4. If price is in the upper section, it means price closed on a strong trend. If price is in the lower section, it means it closed down in a bear session. Okay. So how is this going to help you? It's basically going to help you with your next day trade setup. So you can also, sometimes it also applies, with the green days, how price will close above the open, and then the red days price close below the open. So when you take that into consideration to kind of help you, determine where you're at, what to expect in the next day, along with what the indicator had already says. Okay. Now the cool thing about it, if it's blank, right, like we see here, it just means that price pulled back into the range. Okay. And it's technically going into like an inside day type of situation. All right. So that's basically what that means if it's blank. All right. Now let's look at dollar CAD. Dollar CAD, where are you? Okay, so this is 3 days away. Okay, so Friday came in, and that was technically, or if you look on Wednesday and you look at the 3 day cycle, it's showing that, we're looking for a potential reversal, and we got it, right? So Friday closed, and it shows that it was down. Let me move that a little bit. Excuse me. The end of day shows up, right? And so that's kind of giving us indication that we should expect to go long on the next day. And we're also using the pattern to help to confirm that as well, because this right now is technically the bull flag pattern, showing that, price should come down here somewhere to the low and then an opportunity to go back long. Okay. And again, this is 3 days after. So when price opens, when the market opens, it's supposed to be, not supposed to be, but it will change to 4. And this is also one of those trades that, even though it's 3 days away, because we usually expect the price the trend to change within 3 to 4 days, but it still hasn't gotten anywhere near 3 ADR. So we're just in here for a little bit longer. Is what it's looking like. Okay, so end of day price, again, it splits it up, the ADR, into 4, and if it says up, it just basically means that we're looking for a strong trend. If it's down, it means we're looking for the strong trend down. That's really it. Okay. And I did another example with Euro USD. Oops, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. I have a couple screens here, guys. Sorry. So as you can see with the Euro USD, if I'm coming into the chart, I was expecting to take some shorts on Friday on this pair, just based off of the setup. We had the bear flag on Thursday. It was a 1 day confirm, and then it did close below the open. So that's an opportunity for, price to, at the low of that particular day, to give us a stop hunt, and then an opportunity to take it short again. So I put these 2 flags on here just so we can see the continuation of this pattern. And technically, this is why I'm saying you don't want to counter these trades, especially on day. This is 1 day after the peak, and it's the 2nd day of the 3 day cycle, right? So you don't want to you do not counter those trades. You want to make sure that you take those long. So I put that example there. Okay. And again, if there's news in the market, let me just one more thing. You definitely need to exercise patience and trade before the news or after the news. Sometimes London doesn't have news and you can get good trades there. And then New York may have news, or even what if New York has news at 2 o'clock and maybe that's the end of you're done trading by noon and 2 o'clock is not going to work for you. I mean, there's so many opportunities. You don't want to get all hung up on that. Like I used to get all hung up on it too myself, but I had to learn how to just say, you know what, there's opportunities every day. All right. So the max, this is the max and the real time. I'm going to talk about those at the same time because they both mean they work together basically. Oops, I'm still clicking on the wrong screen. Sorry. I'm trying to click on, let's go to, here we go. So the pound Swissy is showing the max ADR at 3.86, which is the maximum ADR, right, since the high of the week. So if you take the 3.86 and you multiply by 55, and 55 is the ADR for this particular pair, it's the 1 ADR, that's 212 pips away from the high. And so it's highlighted and it starts to show up in red because it's given us the indication that price is looking to reverse. Now, this is not necessarily going to reverse that day unless there's news, and that kind of drives the market to move things up faster. But typically this is just setting up to let you know that now it exceeded, and then this number is not going to change. The 3.86 won't change because it's already received the max, but the real time, the RT, will change. You'll start to see it tick down. So now, it's still at the low, but we want it to continue to tick down, like to go to 3.0, and then I believe at that point, once it does that, we should see some change within the dashboard. But that's whenever we can tell, like, okay, now we're looking like we're ready for the reversal. Okay, and again, you want to wait for the pattern to finish. I don't have my pen out here, but you want to wait for the pattern, and then you want to wait for it to, let me go ahead and find my pen. I use Epic. Oops. There we go. All right, guys, let's see here. Let's get it out of the way. So basically, you're waiting for the pattern to show up, price to break structure. Sometimes it's going to retest it and then take it back up. That's what you're really waiting for at this point. Okay, so you don't want to get ahead of yourself. And you always want to use discretion all the time, guys. You don't want to blindly take this thing long, and it's not even ready. It's nowhere ready for you to take long. It's setting up for you to go long. If this is one of the pairs that you're trading, or if this is the type of setup that you're looking for, and you're going into all these exceeded max ADRs in real time because you're looking to take the reversal, that's a trade setup. If that's what you want to do, then boom, this is how you can use it. Okay. Another cool thing about this is we have the daily range. So the daily range and the ADR, you can use those things together. Okay. So again, we all know that the ADR is the average daily range for the day. The DR again is the daily range. And we just talked about how when this exceeds the average, then it's going to light up as well. Okay. I probably talked about this in another video. But for right now, when you see that there's areas, now you're coming into the market, obviously not now because I said the market is closed. Let's say you're coming into trade New York and you want to see how to trade, or you're going into trade, London, you're trying to see how am I going to get into this market. Usually Asia's really nothing's happening in Asia. So this, I think, really is ideal when you're leaving London into New York, because what happens here, if this number is near, like for example with this one, you see how it exceeded 145, right? So what is that? For 24 pips, it has exceeded. So basically, it's basically saying that there is an opportunity now for this market to reverse. If it's close or exceeded. If it hasn't even come near, it won't light up, right? It'll just be the same color, and then you can just expect a continuation for the next trade session. Okay, and that's how you use the daily range with the ADR. Okay. All right, so that is the fast start training. I was looking to see in my notes if I had anything else to share. But that is the fast start training, guys, on how to use this powerful tool with discretion. Pick your trades that you love to trade, whatever session that you're in. Sometimes your setup may have already played out for the day. It played out in London and nothing has happened in New York, right? You look for another pair. Right? And you don't have to go and do a whole bunch of analysis. You can just quickly tap on another one that's similar to, the setting up in a way that you like and the way you want to trade. Now, right now, this isn't showing it, but I do want to point out that you can always tell when the market is ranging if the daily range, the daily bias, right? The high-low and the EOD, if they're blank, that means the market is ranging. And I don't have an example. Well, here. Actually, I do. Thought I didn't. The market is ranging. This is not a good example. But there's times where I will see. Actually, this is a good example. Sorry. I don't know why I'm losing my mind right now. You can see how it just went flat that day. Right? Just went flat. So there's really nothing happening here. So it keeps you out of trades. You don't have no business trading it. So you just won't be in that trade for that day. Look for something else to trade. If you want to get in here and trade the highs and lows of that ranging market, you can. But I don't recommend it because there's so many other opportunities that you could take that will be more beneficial to you than trading that. You can just hold off and go to something else. Okay, so that's how you would use that. All right, guys. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for a fast start on how to use this so you can get up and running this week. I have tons of videos available to you already on these different 1, 2, 3, 4 days after the high and low for you. And I'm also going to drop this document right here. This is going to be the actual document that you can use to reference on this fast start training so that you can have it on, you know, at your fingertips. Okay. All right. So that is it, guys. I'm really excited for this. And again, we're still in the pre-selling mode because we're not fully automated with the website. We're getting all that stuff done. And once that's done, then it will be on the original price, which is going to be $50 a month. For right now, you can get this for $25. And as we get closer and closer, the price will go up slowly. Okay, so get it now while it's cheap. Okay, and start using it. You'll have your return so quickly. It will pay for itself in one freaking trade. Okay, it will. So you ain't going to be hurting on this thing. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon, and we will see you in the next video. Ciao for now.